bit last week of just, we're learning about cool things here in PLC, except they are not mathy.
Can I ask a question, Krista?
Sure.
Like, I have your Zoom link in my email. Is there a way for me to save it to my desktop or something for easy access?
It's on the admin page of Meeks's, all his.
Oh,
links.
Krista's is too?
Yeah,
Yeah, I just found it down
so it
there.
is in there.
Okay.
Does that make it easy enough, Miss Erica?
Yeah, I didn't realize yours was on there too. So,
It was
okay.
until the other day, so yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's there now. Okay. Because I was going, that's what took so long. I was going through the emails trying to find it and then
I
sitting
think
there
that's
trying to figure where I could put it.
I think that's what poor Mr. Ostrowski was doing since I threw him under the bus. I think he just looked for it in emails and it was a different one. So, so yes, I asked Mr. Meeks to put that in there since we're going to be meeting on mine for a while.
Okay.
So,
All right. Cool. Thanks.
Oh, I just want to say, Mr. Meeks, Miss Moya is late, so please mark that,
marker. She's missed so much that was, I guess, I mean, the Desmos news is good news, but it doesn't necessarily affect Miss Moya either. So, but anyway. All right. So if you guys want to hop into our PLC Canvas page, I'll go ahead and go over Canva a little bit. How many of you guys have used Canva before? Only just a couple? Okay, good. Yeah, I see you. My daughter's here and she loves Canva. She's raising her hand emphatically. I also love Canva, so I'm really excited about this. So if you used Canva before, I'm not going to go too much into depth as far as right now, at least. I mean, we can about all the creation things, but really it's a very easy to use program for lots and lots of purposes. But the great thing is they have this program called Canva for Educators, or for Education. Canva for Education, and it's a totally free program, but you do have to apply for it. And so I started talking to him, and I applied for it to kind of see what it was at first, but then he just went in and opened it to all of us. So we all now have access to Canva for Education.
Why am I having access denied to our PLC on campus?
I mean, maybe I didn't do all the things I was supposed to, y'all.
No. I did the brown box in the center. That's one we're supposed to do, right?
I mean, it's burnt orange, Ms. Stevenson, but yes, hold on.
Okay.
I potentially didn't update my link. That could be why. Sorry. When I got so fancy.
Let it be noted that I was trying to follow instructions.
Thank you.
And be on task.
Then. All right. Sorry, y'all. Oh, no, I'm totally messed it up. Here, you know what I'm going to do? Do y'all have access? You can go to modules, right? Just go to modules for me instead of clicking on the buttons. Let's just do that. I'll save it a second.
Okay.
We don't have to be fancy all the time. So we're going to the November 9th Canva for Educators. So that first page that we go to, here, I'll share my screen. This is just the information that you need that I sent to you via email, that login.
I'm not even seeing it on my page.
Or maybe I didn't publish it. I mean, so many things. Sorry.
I'm sorry to be the interrupter, but I'm genuinely trying to be on task, which doesn't usually happen.
Well, and I mean, it's concerning that nobody else is worried about this except for.
I was going to. I just didn't want to interrupt. You shared your screen, so I thought maybe I could look at it that way.
Y'all, you know, you gotta publish things and do.
We're gonna all pretend like we knew what we were doing.
Like, surely Krista knows what she's doing. Okay, try again.
Refresh the screen.
Trust me, we've all done this.
The answer is no.
What?
I haven't.
Refresh
well, it likes you better.
There's not a whole lot we're working with today on here.
Oh, really? I found it. It came up.
Okay, good. All right, good. All right. So, so this is just the link for you to go. If you haven't done the steps that I sent in my email, this is where you would go to get this sign up. Even if you already have a Canva account, you need to do this so that you can convert it to the Canva for Educators. And so these are just some examples of what a Canva page looks like. So I've got a quick presentation that they sent over to me that I'm gonna open up for us to watch together or look through together, and we'll talk through what having this Canva for education means for us. And I want to thank Ms. Bruton for even bringing this up, that we should look into the pro account, because that's what got me on to even looking into this Canva for education account. So let's see. Bless you. So if you haven't used Canva before, yeah, it's really like a easy graphic design program. If you've seen any of the things that I've made for Facebook or the website, any of that, all of that, if I made it, it was made on Canva. In my class, when I taught English 3, there were several projects that I would have students do. They did an infographic, they did a Venn diagram, and it's just a really easy way for anybody to put together something that looks really professional. So I just love it. There's so many things that I use it personally all the time as well. It's just a really cool program. And so let's get through this. This is a video. It just shows a teacher using it in his class, which is fun. You can go back and watch it later, but we won't focus on that today. So what this is going to include, now that we have this program, and some of this was included as the free version as well, but you're given all of these templates that are already created for you. So if you see this background slide here, let's say you like this one with the girl with the flowers in her hair. You like the idea of that picture in the middle and the words up at top, but you don't want that picture of that girl. It's super easy to swap them out. It's super easy to change that text, even the font, but these give you ideas of already something put together. You can see them already done and see how it was going to look nice for you. So these are great things also to use for a variety of reasons. You can use them on your on your Canvas page. Today, Ms. Anderson sent me her homepage that she's just redone to use Canvas. On Canvas, she used Canva. And I'll show you that in just a minute because I think I have access to hers. There's tons of beautiful pictures that you can use in those that are free and accessible and really easy to search for. There are lots of education specific things that are going to be more called to attention for us. So as you can see here, as they're scrolling through things, there are things like kind of worksheet templates that are created that are, really kind of fun and engaging to look at and easy to see. And those can become templates that you can take what somebody else has already created in that template form. You can edit it to meet your needs. And then you can also, with this new program, you can put this into a template, a classroom template page, to where you send all of your students to go work with that template and turn it into you that way. So a really, a way to kind of incorporate your classroom into Canva as well. You got tons of font choices to you. So this is what I was just talking about. You're going to now have, with this for education piece of it, you are going to be able to have a class. You'll go in and you'll assign students to your class if you want to take a part of this. And then there will be ways for the students to see your templates to work with them. So when I did that infographic in English 3, I would have students just go look for templates that were already made for infographics. But sometimes I got overwhelmed because there are a lot of them. So I could have, instead of telling them to go find whatever they wanted, I could have given them a template for them to use and say, now go in and put your information into this template. And it gives me a little more control because I wanted it to have 5 things. And sometimes they'd find a template that only had 4 and then they didn't put the 5th in there. But if I gave them some that had the 5 that I wanted, it would make it much easier for them to follow my directions, potentially, hopefully, right? Let's see. So here are the features. You have access to millions of images, fonts, videos, and templates. So if you have used Canva before, when you were on there and choosing elements or images, you would scroll over them and some of them would say free and some of them would say pro and have a $sign with them. Well, now all of them are free, which is really awesome. So if you love Canva, you're going to love it even more because now you don't have to search through ones that you don't want to pay for. So there's the ability to collaborate. You can also, something we wouldn't maybe do as much here, but you can have collaboration between students working on a project together, or even between you and the student. There's folders to help you manage everything. The Google integrations aren't as helpful with us. Let's see what else. Yeah, you guys can kind of look through these as far as the...
We can't integrate it in Google, but can we integrate it in Canvas?
There's not a seamless integration as of yet. So you would have to provide them with a link there. Or again, I think we're going to walk through this in just a second. I think this is the one that kind of showed this. You can add your students to your classroom. And so it's a little bit easier for the sharing. Anytime we were using Canva before, it wasn't a great integration either. There is that extra step, but now there's a little more control with it, I think. I haven't played with it too much because I don't have a class, but I think if you're using it for turning in assignments, I think it will be a little easier. But yeah, I'm hoping eventually they'll get to that point, because that seems to be something that more and more places are going to. So this walks you through what you do if you already have a free account, if you don't have an account. So if you haven't signed in yet and need to come back to this, you can look through these steps or call me and I'll come help you. Oh, and so if you already have a Canva Pro account on your own, if you were paying for that, you can get rid of it, because now you have this and you don't need to be paying for that too. So this is what your class page is going to look like. When you come in here, it's going to say, I think it says Mr. or Mrs. and your last name's class. I think that's exactly how it pre-populates. You can change that so that you could, you know, if you wanted, actually, you know what, it may even say your first and last name. I can't remember now, but you can change this title. You can also change the banner that you use. What else? Let's see what else is on. All right, so let's look at, if you want to add students, this is going to be the cumbersome part if you want to take part in this, is you do have to add the students with their email addresses one by one to your classes. So might not be what you decide to do, but if you do, especially if you have some projects that you think would be, it would be helpful to have the template version. It is something that you can do to create these classes. And so we can't invite via Google Classroom, of course. When they're invited, they'll get a message like this, and it'll just say join the class. And then from here, you can create groups. So if you wanted to create, if you teach multiple preps, you could have different groups of students based on which class they're in. So it makes it easier for you, and it makes it so that the content that you're wanting them to see is in the right place. Let's see what else. So this just shows different collaboration methods. So you can either share links to view, to edit, or it can be used as a template. Like I said, you could use that if you want them to just be using a template and filling it in. And then all the ways we would publish. We wouldn't be doing Google Classroom, obviously. As they turn things in, or even before, I guess, you could use these comments off to the side to kind of show them what it is that you want them to be working on, or if they've turned something in, you can comment on it just like you would a Google Doc, so that you can be telling them what things you might want them to go back and focus on. You can also see there's a workflow, so they can send it to the teacher, and then you'll get an email to review. It says you can put a reply in to give student feedback, and then it will return that to them as well. So then here's folders. So that's a way that you can just, obviously, folders in general, helping you to organize, keep things where they need to be. So then this gives you instructions on how you would publish as a template. I mean, this is really where I see the classroom work maybe being really useful for us, because again, I've seen many times, and one of them, we had a Venn diagram, and it wasn't, the Venn diagrams weren't always super, the ones that they would choose were not always super easy for them to manipulate. And so if I were still teaching that piece of it, I would certainly make a template for them. I might let them still have the choice if they wanted to go create their own, that's great, but I might provide that for them. And so if you do that, there's a certain way that you save that so that it becomes a part of your templates. Once you get into that, if you're wanting to do that, you can come back here and check this out, or again, I can come and sit with you and work with you on it. Let's see what else. There's all sorts of things you can go watch to learn more about it. There's a blog from Canva, teacher community. That may be about all we need to look at today from here. But I do want to show, so even if you think about, I think that's the same video we were looking at a minute ago. Even if you think about those buttons that I have in this that weren't working today, those were things that I made in Canva. So all sorts of ways that you can spice up your Canvas page, even if you're not planning to use this as something that your students are going to turn something in to you with. And I'm going to show you real fast Miss Anderson so you can see her. Hopefully I'm choosing the right class. Yep. So if you see her homepage right here, this was made on Canva. And so it kind of made her, she tends to change her homepage. I don't know how often, but she does it quite often to kind of keep it new and fresh. Definitely not something you have to do, but even without updating this, I think it's pretty engaging because it's got the motion, at least it kind of changes things. And that's a really easy thing to do in Canva as well. There's certain elements that will have that motion to them. So can anybody give kind of a testimonial about Canva that you've used or what you like in it?
I like that you can kind of make it clickable, you know. So that's fun. You know, you can, like for an example, you could have a choice board, and then if they click on that option, it might pull up some examples of that assignment for them.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. It's just another way to be organized and engage students to actually want to look at the assignment, because I know if it were me and I was scrolling through Canvas and it was just all boring, nothing, I would kind of look past it. But if it's something like exciting and bright, maybe there's a little motion, there's little clickable things, it might grab my attention a little more.
Definitely. I think we all get tired of seeing, you know, streams and streams of text. And if we can break that up in some way or another, which, I mean, there's certainly other options you can do that, you know, other images or things like that that you get off the web. But if you can make them actually relevant to what you're looking at. Would you guys like to see in Canva, kind of mess around in Canva a little bit and show you kind of what you could do? Would that be helpful? Okay. I saw Mr. Ostrowski sort of nod, so I'm going to go with that was a yes for everybody. So if you wanted it to be no, get mad at him. So this is what the interface is going to look like. If you look right here, I have I changed the name on this as I was kind of playing with it to show you guys. So I changed it to Hank's English 3. Obviously I don't teach that anymore, but you could certainly, but I can't remember how it was branded when I first started it, if it was Krista Hanks. But if you see down here, I've got some designs that I created as I was playing with it. And if you come in here, I have a template folder that my students will be able to access. And then folders of different ways that I've saved things. And the people shows what the class members, so if you look down here, I invited Miss Waldrop to kind of see how it showed up on her end. So she would be the student in this class. But so if we look at, let's see, if you go up here to templates. So there's kind of two ways to think about templates. One is the template sense of what Canva is providing to you. So I wish they kind of given these different names. So there's that kind of template. And then there's the template that then you are sharing with your students, which it's the same thing, but it's just how it's shared out. Does that make sense? So anyway, what I want to show you right now are Canvas templates. So let's see, we've got the education section over here. And if you were looking for a worksheet to just provide something for, let's see, we've got social studies in here. So you can look at these, and let's say you like this study wrap-up thing, but you don't want whatever prehistoric creature that is in there. We can click on that. And it tells you a little bit about that. We can say use this template. And almost everything in here, actually I would say, I guess I should say almost everything in here is customizable. So again, we don't want that prehistoric guy in there. We're just going to delete it. I'm going to click on it and hit delete. It's just being slow. And now I can come over here to my elements or my photo section. So let's say we're studying about, I don't know, countries. That was a bad term to put in. Let's put in United States. So I could put this in instead. So I just click on that, I drag it to where I want it, and resize it. Now I don't like this color because it doesn't go with the USA, and this is going to look, and so I make that red. Super easy stuff. I don't want it to say general science worksheet anymore. I want it to say US history worksheet. And then let's say I wanted another map down here that I actually want them to interact with. I can go in and I can just customize this completely and it's ready to go. And so this could be a couple of different things. This could turn into, when I'm ready to be done with this, I can come up here to the download and I could download this as a PDF, and then this could turn into a Cami. So if you're just wanting to put a little more interest into the documents that you share with people, you could do it that way and then never have the students have to come back into Canva if you wanted to. Or if I come up to these three dots here and I go to my share all and share and then see all, template is an option here somewhere. Last time I found it just by searching, so I'll do that now. There we go. So I can decide where I'm going to put that, and I only have that one folder right there for right now, and I publish that template. So now that template's ready to go, that I could share that with my students and ask them to come in here now in Cami or in Canva and make the edits. This might not be a great example of one they would do in Canva, because this would just be a lot of text that this one would certainly be probably a better Cami option. But if you're wanting to do, let's say you want to do a button or maybe even a banner for your Canvas page, you can find those already ready to go as well. And then again, you're just going to change up text, change up colors, change up images that are on there to go with what you want. My computer's being really slow, y'all. I don't know what's going on.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If you make it to where it's a template for them to go and do something in it, and you've shared it as a link, is everybody you've shared that with a collaborative filling it in, or is it copies to just that kid?
It's kind of similar to any of the other things. There's ways for you to share it to edit or share it to view. And when you share it to view, then it forces them to make a copy, which is what you would want them to do. Unless you're doing a collaborative project, then you would want to share it to edit, right? Because then you would want people to be working on it together. Again, probably not something we are as likely to do around here, but there is that option. Any other questions or thoughts or?
I mean, I don't think a lot of you guys do PowerPoint presentations, but I know I really liked when you guys did the English 3 course, being able to do like an infographic instead of like a PowerPoint presentation. It just made it a lot, more interactive. They had to find pictures. I mean, they did the same thing for the PowerPoints, but I don't know. I think the kids enjoyed it, so it's a consideration.
Well, and I'll show you something else that has nothing to do with here, but you can kind of see what happens. I had to do a project for grad school this past week, and we had to do a presentation, and so I did it in here. It's not, well, no, I just feel like I picked a presentation template, and it had all these sorts of ways that these were laid out, and I manipulated them and was able to put together a presentation that didn't look like it was straight out of the Google Slides templates. So it looks a little more custom, I think. I think it looks a little more polished. So, it had all these different slides that kind of all went together. So even if you're trying to put together a presentation for something that you are doing, or you're going to present to your students, if you want a different way to present that, plus you can come in here and find the GIFs or the videos and stuff like that to put in too. That wasn't really where you were going, Ms. Moya, but when you said presentation, that made me think of that too. But you're right. Like, I think there's, we really try to get our students to be integrating technology in addition to showing their work. And if you've got kids who have a slightly creative brain, they eat this stuff up too. It's just easier or more fun for them to show their work this way. I know that this doesn't necessarily seem as easy math-wise, but I'm sure math can come up with ways to integrate this. If you have some sort of a project, or maybe you can utilize some of those worksheets just to kind of add a little pizzazz to what you're giving to them. Or at least there may be ways that you can use Canva to spice up your Canvas page if you have time, or working on a new page and want to put something in there too. So anybody else have questions or thoughts or?
Yeah, it's just cool because, this is a tool that they could use outside of just high school. They can make their resumes on this. They can
Oh yeah.
might use this at like a future job, or to like promote. A lot of them want to be like self-employed. They can use this to like make flyers to like promote their own businesses. So it's cool to kind of already go ahead and show them how to use something like this because it's something that odds are they'll probably use in the future anyway.
Agreed, for sure. And I'm 90% sure there's resume templates in here that can make your resume be, a little bit more exciting than just a basic Word document. Yeah, a little prettier, might stand out a little bit better. I know that those are a little more common nowadays. They're called something like creative resumes or something. So lots of things that you're right. If we teach our students how to use programs like this, I think it could really benefit them in so many ways. And I think so that when they use it, I don't think they have access to all of I think some of their stuff is paid. So you might, if you're working with them, you might say, if it has a $sign on it, you might find something different. Here's the secret though. If they use something that has a $sign on it, it will still put it into their presentation. It will just have a watermark on it. So unless you as the teacher are super offended by a watermark that you can barely see, it really doesn't matter. Like, I mean, you wouldn't be able to like go send it to a print shop and print it and put it up on the wall or something. And that wouldn't be right to do for a big thing. But if it was just to send you something real quick, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I probably shouldn't say that. That probably is violating something. So ignore what I just said. Tell them not to use the paid ones. How about that? All right. Any other questions? All right. Well, I hope you guys will take some time to play with this because I think you'll have fun with it. Maybe I'm a nerd like that. I was an advertising person in my previous life and did graphic design for a while. And I did graphic design like straight up from Photoshop and things like that, which I can do, but I don't think I would ever go back to it now. Like this is so much easier. So it's really great. So hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know if you have any questions or problems getting signed in or any of that kind of stuff. Okay.
It does a job. Yay.
All right. Yay. All right. See y'all.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
You have a phone charger?